guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Capitalize Podcast. I'm your host, your fave, Rachel. And today we have episode 54 with my dear friend who's also an entrepreneur, just created his new business, Soul Fun Sports. And he's also a student. So, Kev Lomax, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Hello, how you guys doing?
I'm super excited to have you on here. You guys, this is like someone that we go back. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
When you were still working at, what's that sports place?
Sports place, fitness system?
No, remember?
Sports.
Remember, I was a fitness instructor there, and you used to work there as a coach, right? Or front desk?
Oh, Del Oro?
Yes.
Del Oro, yes.
I was a fitness instructor.
Racket Club, yeah.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
and you worked there.
Yep, take me back.
And we didn't meet from that, but we had that same thing in common, so it's kind of funny how now it's like a...
Sacramento vibes.
Yeah, for sure. Sacramento's small, but I haven't seen you in a long time.
It's been a minute,
So it's good to see that you're doing really well.
Thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
And last time we talked, you were just kind of transitioning out of the sports world. Out of playing sports.
Right.
To kind of like seeing what you could do next, or more so how you would continue to grow past what you felt like you knew.
Mm-hmm. More past like the athlete, athletes have that mindset. I wanted to move past that, athlete was defining me a lot throughout my life as like an image. I wanted to remove myself from that and be more than just an athlete. Yeah.
And what was like your main, like just for the audience, what was your main sport and what did you exactly do like athletically?
I played soccer, that was my thing, soccer and basketball, but I grew a very, very fun-loving for soccer and attachment, and I just kind of just rode that coattail all the way until I just realized that it was just enough for me, Injuries kind of like stunted that a little bit, but it was a good, kind of like opening up my eyes kind of thing, like there was more to the world, more that I could do besides just be an athlete. Yes.
And what was that defining moment you feel like? Because I know a lot of athletes that have this mindset, right? And they're like, I have to make it. Like, this is my sport. I didn't come this far to only come this far.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I know a lot of people. A good friend of mine, he is also a trainer now. His name's Gabe. He played football. And he had gotten injured. Yeah. And he said he went through like this 2-year span of depression.
Yes.
And it just like
weighed
on him so heavily.
Yeah.
So I really want to know, what was that defining moment for you where, healing past what you went through physically and mentally, and how did you kind of say like, this is not going to define me?
Right. Honestly, I always knew, but it was a denial thing, I think I realized that probably a year or two after high school, when I was just kind of like floating around, just playing soccer here or there, taking a few semesters, doing that, just kind of just very erratic in terms of like my collegiate athlete life. But I say like the most turning corner moment for me would probably be, believe it or not, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. I don't even know however you want to call it, but probably right when things started shutting down in terms of like COVID pandemic stuff.
Really?
Yes.
So recently?
Recently, oh yeah. That was probably like the most gritty, just in your head kind of like thinking, obviously you're confined, to the house, and I was chilling there, and I just realized, like I have more purpose. I have more purpose than this. I'm not gonna be a professional athlete, though I already know I'm not, so I came to that realization, but I still wanted to play, but I knew that I could do more and have it more impactful, I don't know how you could say, like, presence on the community and, the city if I took a different avenue and left the sports behind. To a degree. Obviously, it's still influenced now, but that wasn't it won't be my main driving force anymore like it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, COVID.
Yeah, believe it or
What
not,
were you doing prior?
So prior to that, I was working for I call it pretty much like a mentorship group, It's, we just basically go to schools, teach kids how to play sports at the recesses, teach them words of the day, kind of like lifelong skills that they can apply to a sports, situation and outside of a sports situation as well. And I did that for like about 2 years or so, and I saw the potential and the impact that I could have on these kids if I took my own talent and my own resources elsewhere. And like I said, another blessing in disguise. COVID happened, school shut down, jobless just about like everyone else in the country, and you have to sit and think. So that was my time where I was just like, okay, I can probably do something else. This is my opportunity to get out of this, because it was hard because I loved the relationship I had with the students and the staff at all these elementary schools that I would go on and do my work, But I realized that there was more for me, and I realized that I had to take that upon myself, but I just didn't have the courage to because I just had that strong love for the kids. But like I said, COVID kind of
pushed you into
pushed me into many things, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it did for a lot of other people too as well, but I'm just sitting here speaking about it now.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right.
So how did you come up with the specific idea about your current business and break down what your current business is and what you guys do?
Absolutely. So this is kind of like a weird, I call these universal coincidences, So one of the social workers at the schools I would go to, she saw me. She saw my work.
Can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
Sorry. The social worker,
Right.
did the schools that you would go to, were they more like lower on the totem pole schools?
It was a mixed variety, so I saw
Okay.
it from all kinds of the spectrum.
Okay.
So I was up there in Folsom, a little bit higher income, annually in households compared to like the Rancho Cordova area, South Sacs and stuff like that, where less income, but obviously there still is, and those were the kids honestly that I saw that they needed it more. All the kids did, obviously, in different situations and to different degrees. I just grew closer bond to the kids in South Sac and specifically Rancho Cordova where I grew up at. So it was kind of like a circle of life deal, which brings me back to when I was in the line, taking my dog. We were getting x-rays and stuff. She had to get a new surgery, so she's getting her x-rays before. I'm sitting in line, and then there's someone else, an older lady, and she's looking at me. I'm like, okay, what are you looking at?
Okay, what are you looking at, lady?
Right. Everyone's wearing masks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so it's kind of really hard, to tell who it is, behind the mask. Everyone's, mysterious and stuff. So she kept, she said my name. I was like, oh, and then I looked at her. And I was like, yeah, right. And I was like, it was Leslie. Her name was Leslie, and she had her little Yorkie, in her hand and stuff like that. And I had my big old German Shepherd, at my feet, but. She pretty much was like, oh, like, how you doing? How's it been? And I'm like, I'm not working. I'm just, I applied to 10 places a week. No one hits back, obviously, just COVID stuff. And just kind of locked in unemployment, just like everyone else. I wasn't too pleased about it. Like, I would want to go out and earn my own. Just didn't want to rely on anything else for that. But anyways, she said, I'm on these group chats in Folsom and Rancho Cordova, the family, the moms and stuff. And they keep talking about how they need their kids to get out and get active and stuff, and she was like, I think you'd be a good person to start like a little program, 8 to 10 kids, per pod, COVID, situations and stuff like that, and get them at a park and just have them do activities, play sports and introduce them to new things and stuff, like be that kind of like not father figure, like a mentor, like a big brother for them. Some of these people don't have that in their life, and it's unfortunate, but I would fill that void, and she thought I was a good person for that, and I thought about it. I was like, do I really have the time for that? Do I have the time for one? Do I have the capability? Always questioning, that's a big thing, you're like, you're dealing with people's kids, so like that's like people's like life, they give life to someone else and they put everything into it. So that's a big responsibility. So I had to think about all that, but as that days go on, I spent more and more time with my notepad to mind. I realized that I think I could do this. And the fact that she believed in me to do it inspired me even more to just take that, just plunge.
And who is Leslie?
Leslie was a social worker at one of the schools.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I met her at Cordova Villa, and then I bounced around to schools in the Rancho Cordova School District, and then she was working there at Cordova Gardens, and she saw me. We talk on my breaks and stuff like that, and we just built a relationship, and she saw what I did. She saw the genuineness that I put in interacting with these kids and for the well-being, like beyond what the company I was working for was doing. Like I was taking extra steps, checking in on talking to teachers and stuff, making sure that they're acting right in class. I was actually, they were pretty much like my kids. I would see them 5 days a week, so I built a relationship, and they knew what time I would come every time. They would see me pull up, and I'll come to the fence and stuff. It was just spectacular stuff. You'd have to be there to actually, feel it and stuff like that. But she told me that, and one thing led to another, and I realized I had the resources behind me, and I just went at it.
Yeah. So what was your first step? Because obviously she had a few people in mind already that she wanted you to work with.
Right.
Right? So how did you go about kind of taking that first step? And did you when did you actually start the business? Like, when did you come up with the idea to like, oh, you'll make it your own? Because right now it's just like an activity. Like, she
Right.
wants you to go do this.
Right.
But when did you say, okay, I like this enough, I want to do this enough to make it my own?
Instantly. Instantly, yeah. I realized that there was potential for it. I was just scared. Everyone has their doubts and stuff like that. You know, we're humans. It's just human nature. But I realized instantly, and my first way to get it, you know, people noticing me was I just added myself to all these chats that she was talking about. Added myself, created a Facebook page, would post stuff on the Facebook page, be like, hey, I know I'm starting Soul Fun Sports, you know, carry on. We're going to be doing these times, we're doing these days at these parks, you know, come out, you know, check things out. And people just, you know, I just kept at it. You know, people obviously are reluctant. They think it's spam, you know.
And this is from March.
This was, no, this.
Maybe like April?
This is a month ago.
A month ago.
A month ago. And
Wow.
I have been non-sleeping. So you can ask anyone that has been friends.
You probably dream about it. You talk to yourself.
Talk to myself about it.
Yeah.
All that, mumble it and sleep.
I love it.
It's
I
insane.
love it.
You know, you kind of have to live and breathe it. If you have a passion about something, it consumes you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the bottom line. And I hate when things consume me. I hate it. I hate having that something else that I don't even know really what it is. It's kind of like an intangible. It's just taking over. So once that happened, I realized that it was fire. It was a fire in me, and I just had to get done. I realized how many people I'd impact, and, you know, I realized I was doing it for myself. I was doing it for my family, you know, friends, like, just show them that I have some worth. You know, I have the capabilities to do something, and I'm passionate about it. So I just kept at it, you know, adding myself to these pages. You know, eventually, you know, people started coming up, you know, asking questions, you know, responding back, and I created a website, Facebook page, you know, Instagram, and so on and so forth. And, you know, here I am. And then probably like I said, all this happened within like a month and a half. So got the LLC license right away.
And you started with nothing.
Nothing.
No startup money.
Nope.
Just a park and a Facebook page. Baby. I love it. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Yeah. So I'm so curious. So, okay. So you were in the process of healing from your own, like, past experiences.
Absolutely.
That you were able to get introduced to this opportunity. But do you feel as if you were introduced to that opportunity right when everything transpired with, you know, you not really being an athlete anymore,
Right.
you not playing your sport,
Right.
do you feel like you would have taken that opportunity right then and there when it happened?
Probably not. You know, it was recovery. I was healing. You know, I had just closed that chapter of my life, closed that door, and, you know, it takes some time to walk to the next door to open it up. You know, there's space in between. Doors are not right next to each other. There's space. So I closed that door and I'm walking. So I use it in an analogical sense. That's how I was processing my head. I wasn't ready to take on anything. I needed to heal. I needed a woosah. That's the best way to say, you know, taking my walks along the riverbed with my dog and stuff like that. And, you know, wake up, you know, early, catch a sunrise, you know, let the sun kiss my skin in the morning, and let the sun, you know, say goodnight to the sun in the evening, and just a constant, you know, routine. And then I realized that, okay, I'm ready. And I just took my dog, and that was that. I mean, I guess it was just a universal coincidence, as I say.
Absolutely. What are the things you feel like make you the happiest?
Make me the happiest, you know, seeing other people happy. It's a very cheesy and cliche thing to say, but I genuinely mean that. Like, I put aside my happiness for others because in a circle of sense, it makes me happy. So I'll put aside other things that make me happy to make other people happy, knowing that if those people are genuinely, truly happy, that will make me happy, and I don't have to go out and do other things. Obviously, multiple things make you happy: money, clothes, all that stuff.
It has a piece, yeah.
Yeah,
Experiences.
All of it. There's multiple. You can go on and on and on, but I knew if I didn't try to get that stuff, material things, you know, intangible stuff like that, if that came back around to me, the happiness of other people, I would be fine. That is a internal and a deeply rooted happiness that will never go away, and it will fuel other things that make me happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And okay, so one of the things that you also mentioned was that we're talking about is like healing. So besides time, what do you think is the number one thing that helped you besides time and the kids?
This is very cheesy.
I'm curious.
Yeah, very cheesy. It's going to be very simple. My dog.
Your dog. So you feel like a companion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She's been with me through the ruts. You know, she's seen me at my worst. You know, I do mainly a majority of what I do for her. Like, you know, like it's a dog. They rely on their owner, and if the owner's not in good health, mentally, physically, they can't provide for that. You know, it's a responsibility. People think just having a dog, oh, it's cute, yada. It's a responsibility. You learn a lot from having that. I have to. And that was probably, she's like my cornerstone. She's that underlying feeling and motivation. Like when I get tired and I'm like, oh, dang, like, oh, no one's hitting me back, or, oh, this is not working. Like those typical business thoughts where you just think like, okay, I've been trying everything else. Like there's only so much you can do. It gets reignited when I think of her and, those underlying fuel sources for my motivation, and she's one of them for sure. A main line, absolutely.
What about those people that don't have a support system? Maybe they don't have an animal, or they don't have, both parents in their life, or, any siblings, kind of just feel like they're on their own, or maybe just not supportive family.
Right.
What would you say for someone like that that's really just trying to kind of figure out their purpose? Like, what is out there for me? What can I do? How can I matter and make an impact?
We are, we're on Earth. It's small steps, I mean, for me, everyone's different. For me, when I feel like they're, helpless, like, oh, what am I going to do, like lost, I immerse myself into nature. I am fortunate.
Find that isolation.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be crazy. I'm not going on Yosemite or Bear Grylls hikes and stuff like that. Like, I'm right here in my backyard, like, dang near, like, the, American River. I just immerse myself in that, and it's become a constant. So whenever I feel like that, I can resort to that. That is, like, my home. I just pretty much tell anyone just to find that zen. It could be anything. Oh, it's your backyard. Create a space to where you just can block out everything just for a little bit, and just, it's not even meditation. Just chill, relax, just kind of just decompress. You don't have to sit out there for hours. I know time is of the essence. You don't have to, but just give yourself a little bit of time and just regroup. It's extremely helpful. For me, mine is, I get up, sunrise, I'm catching the sun. I'm seeing that peak over the horizon. That is okay. I'm starting my day. It's a good start to the day. Very few things will wave me once that happens. If I allow that to happen every morning, I feel almost invincible every day. Yeah.
I love that. Almost invincible.
Absolutely.
Things happen.
Oh, yeah.
People are silly.
Oh, yeah.
There might be some silly drivers out there.
Absolutely.
People that piss you off. But,
all that fun stuff, right?
you just gotta smile. I literally set reminders. They've been going off during these podcast episodes. I have reminders, 4 reminders a day. Just reminding myself to be present, to be friendly, to be goal-orientated, like things like that. That's literally, like, not, I have my own zen and things that I do when I'm having, like, a bad day, or maybe things that happen. But, it's a good reminder of, like, who you want to be. Yeah. What purpose do you have, and what things can you do right now that can help you in your future?
Absolutely.
So, and speaking about future, these kids that you work with, I'm so curious. They are the future, 100%. And there's a lot of kids that don't have guidance.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure you see it when you go to the schools.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it.
So I'm curious, like, when you're meeting with these kids, especially the ones you feel like don't really have that support system, or maybe don't come from the best households, what are the number one, like, some of the main things that you try to encourage them to do, or try to teach them when you're with them to help them in their future, whether it be now, later, like, just life lessons that they can understand to help them?
So they're kids. You have to remember that things are daunting. Everything's overly exaggerated. Simply just be like, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you through. I'll be here for you. It could be the littlest things. Oh, that's why I say this program. It's just little things. Just going out there for an hour and a half playing with it. Those things have impactful. I don't know. They have impact, extreme impact on them. Just that small time. Like they remember that for the rest of their life. And if it becomes a constant, they will look up. And when they get older, they will remember, okay, I was doing this. This helped me got through. This helped me. This can help me do this. I'm out here playing. Now I can tackle homework. I can do this. Things are kind of going over my head now instead of, like, hitting me hard. Obviously, human things are going to affect you. But if you kind of have, like, that outlet, I kind of see my program as that zen I was referring to. That's that zen for them. They don't really know what zen is, but I am making a zen for them. And then as they get older, realize that there is other things that could be their zen. So I believe for the kids that have the less fortunate things, or are less fortunate, it's going to be okay. I'm going to try my hardest to be there for you. And this program in itself it's that zen. It's that zen, and it will help them. I 100% believe it will.
100%. I love that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many kids, you know what I mean? Like, one of the things that really inspired me when I was first seeing, like, programs, you know, like, for kids to be out during, like, very important times of their life. Wait, first I want to ask, what are the main age ranges for, like, the people that are in your program?
So, for me, it's 6 to 12.
6 to 12.
But, I mean, obviously, I know middle school and high school kids, you know, they're coming into their own. They're not going to really do that. I know, like, the PE teachers are having trouble with them already now, holding them accountable for doing PE classes. So I can only imagine them coming out there. I get it. I was obviously that age once. We all were. So I understand that. The prime ages for me is 6 to 12. That's where I feel like the most impactful things happen, you know, in terms of life. Those are the things that they hold on to. And if I could implement this in their lives now, it will be for the better. During these times, you know, you all have to realize that this was created for odd times. I wouldn't be doing this if it was a normal day life. PE would be there. Obviously, I see the PE in schools and stuff. It could have some work, you know, but I'm not on the school board. That's not my job, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I do my thing, you know, and this is in lieu of a PE class because of the closing down of schools and the social distance learning models that are out there right now.
And how are you trying to adapt after COVID
After,
allows?
I feel like it would be established enough, hopefully, that people will probably, you know...
Do it after school?
Yeah, do it after school. You think about homeschool, people who are homeschooled, that's an option too. Like, those are always, it's always going to be there, but it's just more, a little bit more prevalent and more, you know, noticeable now because this is the only thing that pretty much kids could do unless they go do it on their own or they have someone else do it for them. It's just an option, you know. It's an option, and I think it's the right option.
Absolutely. I mean, like I was just going to say, the reason why I asked the ages is because one of the things that really inspired me that made me realize, you know, there's certain ages where it's like, these are the ages where you need to make sure that these kids are somewhere at a certain time.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many other things that could happen. I know for myself, as a kid, I was an idiot.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't have certain things in my life, I don't know where I would have been or what I would have done or what would have happened. So, like, seeing, they had their own, They had their own series with Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Yeah, and his, like, Little League team.
Right.
Oh, but I already knew about it. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows about it.
Right.
But actually seeing it and what they do for the kids was super inspiring.
Okay.
Because these kids were mostly going into high school. They were going to go into high school or maybe, like, still in middle school.
Right.
But just seeing, like, you know, where certain people come from and the influences that they have in their life and if they don't do certain things. You know, obviously sports aren't everything.
No.
Physical activity isn't everything. No. But it's the activities that you do within certain times when you're at a certain age that make a huge impact because besides the household, like, there's school and there's sports and then there's extracurricular.
Yeah.
And those things make a difference.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, if this is basic. Like, if kids are not being active, it's harder for them to retain information. You have them doing they're inside already. Why do they need to be inside? They need to get out for a little bit. They're kids. They like to frolic. They like to do stuff. They like to smell fresh grass. I like to smell fresh grass. So, like, they need to be out there just for an hour, just a little bit. And it will have such a big impact on them. They can go back. Their minds are not racing and thinking about chasing butterflies. Now they can actually sit and do a math problem or sit and dissect a sentence or, you know, figure out this and that about, you know, there's multiple things. It's helpful. It's beneficial. And also eating healthy, too, on top of that. But that's another side thing, too.
I mean, it's 100% like beneficial in every single way.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact that they're doing the activities. They're being healthy. They're being physically active. They're meeting new kids. You know what I mean? Like
social interaction, you say meeting new kids. These are lifelong things that people don't realize at schools. These are the underlying things that are always there. Everyone thinks education. Yeah, that's true. It's school. No duh. But
no duh. I haven't heard that in forever. No duh.
But
I love that.
But like, there's more to it. Social interaction. You know, you're meeting Jimmy's meeting Tom. And, you know, they're interacting with each other. These are things that they can take outside of a school setting and apply that to their regular life. Apply for jobs. If there is no social interaction, it's hard. It would be hard to go to a job interview. You're scared. You're nervous. You've been inside the whole time. You know, you barely interacted with anyone of your age. The only person you've seen are the walls, the corners, and your mom. Oh, dear God, you know.
Oh, dear God.
Seeing that 24/7, that's a lot.
Yeah.
They need to see some people their age, see people who look like them, same size as them. It's helpful. Just not in a like school sense, but a outside of school sense. There's multiple things that this would hit, and it's funny because this is so simple, but you truly have to have a passion and love for kids, and not everyone can do that, and I've learned that from the jobs I've had, and not everyone's a kid person.
No, definitely not.
So that's why I love kids. I love them.
Do you do this by yourself?
Yes,
at the moment?
Right now, yeah.
Okay. Do you do it every day?
It's every day, yeah. Monday through Friday, 3 times, in the first part of the day, and then the last one, like, from 6 o'clock to, like, sunset.
Okay.
Obviously it will change as the sun, changes, during the whole change of seasons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we'll have more times. There's a big gap in the middle. It's just because it's extremely hot.
Yeah.
But as, it gets
Makes
cooler and
sense.
stuff, there'll be times during that.
Wow. You see, we all see, like, from anyone listening or watching this, it's like you hear, would you consider yourself like a recreational company? Like a rec company? A sports company?
I would consider myself,
an extracurricular company?
Sports. So just a quick rundown of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just all sports. The first half of it, you do your warm-ups, it's just PE. Like, first half, you do your warm-ups, you play, like, a PE game, I was sitting at these schools. I was subconsciously, mentally noting what the PE teachers did, what they, what their, day-to-day things were. The first half, PE stuff like sharks and minnows, Red Rover, little things like that. Second half, introduce them to a new sport every week. Soccer first week. So Monday through Friday, we're just doing basic soccer just to get them exposed. Between 6 and 12, that's when you're getting exposed to sports. Some late people start later. And they don't have the resources to get them into club teams at younger ages. But those are usually some of the prime athletes I've seen. So anyways, but second half is sports, introducing them to sports. So first week basketball, and then second week, soccer, tennis, everything, lacrosse, just things that some of these kids never would have experienced at some of the PE schools that they're at because they didn't have the resources for it. And I have those available resources so I can introduce them. I have friends who played collegiately in every sport I just mentioned. So they can come and, give some pointers to them. Like, while I'm teaching my sessions and stuff like that, give pointers. They can teach sessions on their own. And then, if kids really like that, they go back and tell their parents that. And now the parents are signing them up for sports, whenever that is allowed again. But we also do provide individual training, too. So it's hitting a lot of things. I've realized what sport can do to me and how that was a safe haven. I already know sports is a safe haven for a lot of people who like sports. And that's why I introduce them to them to see what sport they like. They latch onto that. They use that as the outlet to their everyday life. Like I said, they're like not in the best situation, so they can go to a local park right around the corner and go kick the ball around. If they don't have go kick the ball around like the side of the house. Just a little thing. There is a plethora of ways you can get out and be active. It's simple. So I feel like it's hitting a multitude of different areas. I can go on and sit on this podcast for days and tell you, but I know the one thing that I want them to do.
Sorry. No,
you're good. Is, like I said, soul fun. It's the last play on words. SOLE, soul, is to have fun, Once you have fun doing things, it becomes easier. I'm not saying it's going to be extremely easy, but things are a little bit lighter and easier if you're having fun doing it. So that's the main thing. But there's also, like I said, there's so many things that it hits.
Absolutely. And I love how you put so much thought into it, you know what I mean? And you already have, what I was going to say was, anyone who's watching this literally can listen to, like, this is your business, this is what you do. Wow, that's super cool. But then there's so much thought that goes into it, like the fact that you take a break between the hottest time of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I think about that stuff.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You're teaching them a new sport every week. What? That's crazy. I would have never thought to do that. It's just so creative, and you can tell when someone really is passionate about it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the main reasons why, like, I think a business can be created and successful from any of your passions.
Absolutely.
Some people say, oh, there's just some things you can't create a business. No. Anything can be a business, just not anyone can be successful in business.
That part, yeah.
But there's a little intricate details. But at the end of the day, if you're loving what you're doing and you're happy regardless, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
It doesn't always have to be about money or anything else, right?
No. Like, that's not even a thing. I mean, that's going to come. But, like, I really do care for these kids. I can't emphasize that enough. I really do. And I will do what it takes to have that impact. Because I know I was blessed and fortunate enough to have a loving mom and sister and my grandma, my nana. They were my like pillars of my life. So I was blessed and fortunate. So my mom did whatever she could do to have those available resources for me. But I had friends growing up that didn't have those resources. And I knew I would go over, I would see it. I was young. I knew what was going on, but I just didn't have the mental capacity to process that and put it into words. I knew what was going on. I knew it. And now I look back on it, Soul Fun could have helped some of my other friends, and they could have took them in different avenues where they're at now. So, yeah, I see it, and I'm just trying to get this on the ground because there's kids that need help out there, and you can't save them all. It's like that. But I can save as many as I can.
Kev, I love this. I literally there's a bunch of people that come on here, and I know that a lot of them are starting out, or they want to start out, or they already have established like things that they do.
Absolutely.
And obviously, not everyone is going to win in life, but I'm very confident about the people that I bring on here that they're on here for a reason, and they know what they want, or at least they have an idea, and they're going to make it happen regardless.
Oh, yeah.
And I can only imagine like it's literally been a month.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just give me
Kev,
some,
dude, we got to do a round 2 for sure,
round
because
2. Get at it. Let's go.
you're gonna crush this period. Like the intention's there, the idea is there, the purpose is there. I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. So one of the main reasons I actually created this podcast was because growing up, I knew that I wanted more out of life, and I knew the things that I wanted in my life.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to get it.
Okay.
So I didn't have that like figure or like that mentor, that person to kind of guide me.
Oh, yeah.
So I just thought that, I needed to go to school, I need to get a good job, I need to make sure that I make money to take care of my parents,
Oh, yeah.
But I knew that wasn't the route that I wanted. And I just wish I would have had something like this. Maybe if I was like getting out of high school.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think kids are going to watch this.
All
Hopefully
right.
not. I cuss too much. But like going
You'd be
into
surprised what they
college,
see on YouTube.
right? I know.
Yeah.
TikTok. Anyway.
Oh, man.
But so that's the main thing is like anyone who's watching this, I'm the type of person, if I would have seen something that was inspiring or someone that I related to, I would have reached out to them like that.
Yeah.
I would have wanted to see if there was an opportunity for me to work with them, get mentored by them, help them with anything, even if I didn't really have that much value to give, just anything to contribute to their purpose, right? So I could learn from them. So I'm curious, obviously you're just starting out, but you do have a lot of things that you're doing. You're very busy. Is there any opportunities from anyone watching this that's really inspired by your story and what you're doing to help you, to work with you, to get mentorship from you, to just reach out to you?
Specify that a little bit more for me, yeah.
Maybe if anyone wants to like help out or volunteer.
I mean, they could see I have my contact information. I have a website.
Okay.
I have an Instagram
We'll attach
page.
all that.
Yeah, I have a website. I have an Instagram page. I have a Facebook page. It's 2020, guys. There's multiple ways. I hit a lot of ways that you can contact me. If I gotta send, if you gotta send me a pigeon with a note on it, it'll come to me. It's COVID times. It may go a little bit faster, so it'll get there. But I have my available ways to contact me, and I'm taking of all help.
Yeah. Any and all help.
Any and all help, yeah. Just think about, if you're going to help me, don't think about really helping me, but think about helping the kids.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're helping me by helping the kids, I only have 2 arms and 1 mind, and it's running right now. This stuff is over,
Yeah.
If you see like the little cartoon, with the little steam coming, all of it.
Yeah.
It's happening up there.
Got
so,
you. Perfect.
You want to relieve that?
Well,
Do
now
it.
they know.
Now they know.
Love it. All right, guys. You heard it here first. What about personally? Do you have a handle that they can contact you at? Instagram handle.
Instagram, oh yeah. My Instagram handle is SoulKev, SOLKE, 2 V's.
Okay.
And my Instagram for business is Soul Fun Sports.
SOL.
SOL, yeah, not SOUL. That's the second play on words,
Yeah.
and the third one is SOLE. But we're gonna go with the soul, like the one in the sky.
Yeah, I like that. All right, guys. You heard it here first. Episode 54. We got Kev. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning into that podcast episode. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video with us again. Join the conversation below as well by hitting that comment section and telling us what you liked most. And see you next time. I'm out.